Hi. Um, this is a video that I've been planning for the last year or so. And so as many of you know, I've been posting workout content on here for roughly the past year or so. Um, Off and on, give or take. And over the course of that time, I have received a lot of hater comments from people. So, as a Christmas gift to all of you, I thought, well, hey, let's go on ahead and just go through all of them here together. So, the comments themselves are going to be up on the screen when I talk about them. And yeah, like I said, we'll just go through them together and have a good old laugh to end 2025. All right. So, the first comment on the list is from Snosh Divas 06414. And this was on the 105-pound rack pull video that I did a few weeks back. At least at the time when that I grabbed the screenshot. I'm sure if you actually go to the video, you'll be able to see the upload date. But so speaking of which, so before I get into the comment itself, you're gonna notice that a lot of these guys have a random string of numbers after their username, and that tells me either one of two things. Either, well, right off the bat, either one, they were too lazy to actually come up with a username themselves, so they just had a generator do it for them. Or two, and probably more likely, these are bot accounts. Obviously, I have no way to prove that, but even if these are bot comments, that does not mean that I cannot laugh at them anyway. Laugh at them anyway. All right, on to Mr. Diva's comment itself. So this person asks, "Did you have to get your spine replaced for for a 105-pound rack pull?" Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. the the fact that that's even a question at this level, at this weight, is laughable to me. Beyond that, there's the idea of, hey, like, as long as you maintain good form, you will be able to maintain your spinal integrity. To maintain your spinal integrity. It's obviously honestly, the only people that have to worry about spinal replacements are those that mess up, are those that mess up in the gym. They're using sloppy form, sloppy technique, they're ego lifting, which for a move like the deadlift or the rack pull, in my case, I have to do the rack pull because of my cerebral palsy. It won't allow me to lift from the floor directly without my lumbar rounding. And so, um, but yeah, most of the time, these spinal injuries occur, at least in the gym setting, they occur due to sloppy technique or ego lifting. One of the two. Maintain good technique and make sure that the weight is something that you can actually handle. Feasibly, that you can feasibly handle the load. And no, I actually didn't have to get my spine replaced. Honestly, since starting doing the rack pull about 2 or 3 months ago, my back has actually never felt better. Um, and so, yeah. Although, to be honest, when I first saw this comment, I was considering typing back and saying, "Oh yeah, I'm actually in the hospital as I am typing this right now." And in fact, for you guys, this video itself, uh, um, none of this is real. This is all AI generated. So this is all AI generated stuff. Um, but yeah, that's that guy's comment. Oh my gosh. Okay, so here's another one. This is by a poster named Yesaya Farron 8554. And this was on the 100-pound rack pull video that I'd done. So kind of a little bit of context before I actually get into the comment. I initially I think I was at like 120 or 125, and I was doing them pretty well. But then I reached out to a coach, and the coach told me, hey, like, here are a couple things that you could fix with your form. So I lowered the weight substantially in order to work on my technique and get that form corrected. And now I'm back to the point where I was before. In fact, yesterday I took a week-long layoff, so I had to do 120 instead of 125 like I'd planned. But 125 is coming up on Friday here, the 19th. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to pushing through that barrier finally. That like my previous maximum with it. But yeah, so anyway, on to Farron's comment itself. All right. So Farron says, "Is this a joke? What's the story with this bikini weight?" First of all, Farron, you're being discriminatory against women there. Against women there with your bikini weight comment. Just letting you know that there. But yeah, so that's not a joke. I mentioned earlier how I had to work back up. I don't remember exactly if this one was done during that process. Like during the process of building back up. Or if this was done during my initial loading phase, if that makes sense, like when I was going up 5 pounds per workout and stuff like that. But yeah, so that is Farron's comment. One, it's not a joke, and two, you're being a little sexist there with the with the bikini weight comment, and very discriminatory. Not nice, dude. All right, now here's the next one. So this one, I think this one was done by an actual person because there's a profile picture there. Plus there isn't the random string of numbers that the previous two had. But all right, so this is for the 95-pound rack pull video that I'd done at some point. And he says this will result in disappointment and zero fat loss. Nice try, bro. And also I have to give an honorable mention to the reply. To the reply. It's absolutely, it's great. It's absolutely great. This will result in disappointment and zero fat loss. Well, okay, from a disappointment perspective, yeah, it may not seem like much. 95 pounds may not seem like much. But like to me, it was a major accomplishment. Bro, like everyone has a starting point. Um, I apologize for not reading the guy's name, but it's there if you guys want to if you guys want to see it. But yeah, so it's not really a disappointment. It's not really a disappointment, at least not for me. Again, I mean, to be honest, that's very subjective. That's very subjective. It's not really an objective metric that you're using there in your assessment. Beyond that, why, if I may ask, will it result in disappointment for me? I mean, the form's good. The weight's not too heavy. Taking my time with the repetitions. So why? Why do you think it'll result in disappointment, bro? And then his comment about a zero fat loss, as if fat loss is something that I have to worry about at this stage in my training career. It's oh man, a lot of times a lot of these comments say way more about the individual making them than they do about the person they're targeting. Oh man. So this is for the 120-pound rack pull times 6, and I think this one might have been done during the phase where I was building back up, because I did 6 reps instead of 5, which was my goal. Speaking of which, I got another comment on that I'll talk about here in a minute. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into this guy's comment first. So this was done by Sonny Liston E3X. And so he says a 10-year-old could do that. I mean, find me a 10-year-old that can do something like that with perfect technique and stuff like that. All right, so now on to the other comment that I was talking about earlier. I didn't get a screenshot of this one, but the comment I got, the other one I got, said that hey, if you look at this guy's YouTube videos, he's going up to 120-pound rack pull, and because of that somehow means I wasn't doing a sensible program, or really any type of program. And okay, so for the record, for full disclosure here, the program that I'm following is the Start in Strength method. And like I said in a previous comment, I've had to modify the routine for one of the movements, in this case being the rack pull in place of the deadlift, because I cannot physically do a deadlift without my lumbar rounding. And so my question to this guy, the one that I didn't get the screenshot for, is, so you're saying that someone having to make a modification on the program means they're not following a sensible program. What sense does that make? It's still barbell based. It's still linearly progressing it, meaning going up 5 pounds a workout when possible, focusing on good technique and working within your limitations. Again, that comment, like most of these, says more about the individual making the comment than it does the person that they're supposed to be targeting. But just wanted to kind of throw that one out there. The 120-pound rack pull times 5. This comes from Webmaster070. And again, I feel like this is another bot. But this guy says, unless you started doing this a week ago, this is terrible form, and just do normal deadlifts. Rack pulls are powerlifting specific thing. Now, for the record, I know absolutely nothing about powerlifting. I know absolutely nothing about powerlifting other than those guys are ridiculously strong. Powerlifters are ridiculously strong. Which is, good for them. Good for them. But again, I have kind of two questions. So, one, what about the form is terrible? He just makes this blanket statement here about it being terrible form. So he kind of makes the blanket statement, but he doesn't really go into detail as to why it's terrible. If that makes sense. And then the second one I have is, how are rack pulls a powerlifting specific thing? Again, bear in mind, I know nothing about powerlifting beyond the fact that those guys are insanely strong in terms of what they're able to do. But how are rack pulls, again, a powerlifting specific thing? Is it because you're able to lift more weight doing them than you can the conventional deadlift? Or is it something else? Without him going into detail on, again, either of these things, I'm just kind of left in the dark about it. All right, so this one was actually fairly recent. This was an 115 pound incline bench video. I actually stopped titling the movements just because it was fairly obvious what I was doing. Like here, I mean, I'm obviously on an incline bench. So, I mean, you know. Robo Trickster 4288. Oh, by the way, shout out to my buddy Jacob from church. I actually showed him this comment and a couple of weeks ago, and yeah, this is like I said in the beginning, this comment seems like a bot one. Just because, one, no profile picture, which if I'm remembering correctly, I think Jacob picked up on that. That was like one of the first things that he said was something like, "Let me guess, no profile picture," and you know what have you. He says, "Dude, I was out lifting you at 10 years old." And okay. I mean, like, what does that have to do with what I'm doing here? What does that have to do with what I'm doing here? I mean, again, this is kind of similar to I think it was the last comment with, or actually the one before, where the guy said, you know, hey, a 10-year-old could do that. Okay. I mean, if a 10-year-old can do it, good for them. I mean, good for them, but what does that have to do with what I'm doing here? What does that have to do with what I'm doing here? Your comment lacks nuance and substance. So, yeah. 30-pound squat video that I'd done. Experimenting with the barbell squat to see if I can actually do it given my condition. And each session, the movement is getting more and more natural for me. Like, it feels better on my legs when it comes to like depth and stuff like that. There are a couple of things though, as far as my technique, that I still have to iron out. But I'm doing those on like a day by day basis, I guess. So I'm like filming those sets and what have you. Making sure that the technique is good, making sure the depth is good. You know, having kind of not really a coach's mindset, because I'm not a coach myself, but trying to think like one would as far as like analyzing technique and stuff like that is concerned. All right, now let's go ahead and get into this last one. I'm not gonna read the username here. You guys can do that. You guys can read the username there if you want. But he asks, is this a joke? And this is not a joke. I'm working within the limits placed on me by a disability that I have. And two, the only joke I see here is your comment. So, so yeah, that's what I've got to say on that one. All right, so yeah, this was just my kind of Christmas present to all of you guys. Thank you so much for your support, either from the beginning, if you've been on my channel from the beginning, thank you so much for your support. Man, I can't believe this channel has been around for a decade, for a little over a decade, at this point, because I started in 2013, and so this is just amazing to look back on. But again, thank you guys so much for your support. Again, whether you've been with me from the beginning or if you've come in later. And yeah, so looking forward to seeing what hater comments I get in 2026. And I'll be back next year with a video similar to this one. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Uh, a very merry Christmas to all of you, and may the Lord bless you and keep you. Take care.